there, what's up, everybody? This is the co-host of the main event, Mark Troy, and I've been trying to get as much extra bonus content as humanly possible up for this Labor Day weekend. I hope you're all enjoying your Labor Day, hanging out with family and being safe and responsible and all of that. And, maybe going a little all out. You know what I'm saying? Well, I went all out last night. I was having fun. I was watching All Out on one screen and the new episode of The Walking Dead on another screen with my wife because she hates wrestling, and we're all about The Walking Dead. So, I had that going on. Admittedly, I was only half paying attention to The Walking Dead because All Out was so good. And that's kind of what I'm talking to you about right here today is AEW All Elite Wrestling's All Out 2021. I am actually going to AEW's debut in Cincinnati, Jon Moxley's homecoming, this Wednesday. I have tickets. I'm so excited. The doors open at like 6. The show starts at 7. I am going with my buddy Kyle, my good buddy. I've known him slightly longer than I've known my wife. We went to college together, and I met my wife at college, but I met Kyle first. But yeah, so it's been about 9 years I've known this dude. I've known Greg even longer than that. But I get to hang out with Kyle. This is the first time I've seen Kyle since Royal Rumble. I think I want to say Royal Rumble. I went over to his house for the Royal Rumble, and we ordered chicken wings and pulled the show up on the big screen. It was a fun time. This time, this is his first AEW experience. He's not an AEW fan. He doesn't ever watch. He's not super into it. He doesn't know a lot of the guys and gals on the roster. But I told him it's okay. You can watch the replay of All Out with me if you want, and we'll get into it. And I ran down kind of what happened to him last night just quickly in a message because he was working, he couldn't watch, and he just wanted me to tell him. And he said it sounded like a good show, and let me tell you, it was a good show. We're going to AEW together. He's one of my wrestling buds this Wednesday, and I will have live coverage of that all over my Twitter and possibly Instagram as well, and Facebook. So with that being said, I want to plug all the social media right off the bat. It's at @mainevent_marks on Twitter and Instagram. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/main event marks pod, all one word. So go check that out. And of course, check out Unhinged Radio or Radio Unhinged. That's at unhingedsn.airtime.pro. They have live sports internet radio, uncensored. So check it out. They talk about all different kinds of sports. Obviously, right now, football is back, baby. So, they're going to be talking a lot about the NFL, the NCAA, and all that. But they're also talking about soccer, hockey, NASCAR. NASCAR's going on right now. I'm not a big fan of NASCAR, so I don't know. My buddy Kyle is. He can tell you more about it. But, they're talking baseball. Baseball's going on right now. They're talking everything. So go check that out. And of course, we're on there. That's why I'm plugging them. Radio Unhinged. It's unhingedsn.airtime.pro. We play live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then our replay is right after that at 9:30 Eastern. What is it in Narnia time? 6:30. 6:30 Pacific. So, go check that out. And then we got replays Thursdays, Fridays, Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Check it out. But anyway, going into All Out here. Now that I've wasted enough time, All Out's tagline was "Where champions are made." I'm not going to do like the long form reviews like I do on the show. I'm just going to quickly run down some of the matches and what I thought of them. I'm going solo today. Obviously, Greg is not here. He's enjoying his Labor Day to himself out there. Plus, I'm recording this like fairly early in the morning. And I don't know if you all know this, but I'm in Ohio, which is in Eastern time. He's in California, which is, Pacific time. So if I was talking to him right now, if I were to call him at this time, he'd be fairly angry with me, and I would not blame him. But yeah, so he's enjoying his Labor Day, not laboring. I actually put in a little bit of overtime this morning, so I got that in early, and I'm like, well, I'm awake, so I might as well get some bonus content in, baby. But at the buy-in, the pre-show, I don't know if they called it the buy-in this year. I think, I don't know. I didn't see that really being advertised, but the pre-show, it was a 10-man tag match. It was the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Wheeler Yuta, along with Jurassic Express, this Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They got Marco Stunt with them. They defeated the Hardy family office of Matt Hardy, Private Party, which is Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, and the Hybrid 2, which is Angelico and Jack Evans. They also had the Blade in their corner. Yeah, this match, I'll say this: it didn't suck. If I had to give it a rating, probably 2 stars out of 5, so slightly below average. Yeah, I mean, it was a 10-man tag, whatever, who cares? Orange Cassidy was the best part of it, I'll say. I'm always a fan of Jungle Boy, so that was cool. But this went about 9.5 minutes. I watch almost every Dynamite and Rampage. I got to tell you, I don't know who the F Wheeler Yuta is. So maybe he's on Dark and Elevation. I don't know. I really don't know who this guy is. But and I didn't really see much of him in this match that made me go, oh yeah, he's great. I mean, whatever. It was a crazy 10-man tag to open the show. Nothing spectacular happened. It was okay. And Jungle Boy beat he tapped I want to say Jack Evans out with the snare trap. So the biggest thing to come out of this, quote unquote, is after the match, the baby faces have won and whatever, and they get attacked by the returning Butcher. Not Brutus the effing Barber, Beefcake, Ed Leslie, whatever, not that Butcher. The Butcher from the Bunny, the Butcher, and the Blade, or I don't know what order they're in, but that guy, he's back after I think what did Ross say, 7 months? So I think he's been off with his band doing stuff. He's the lead. I don't know. He's in the band. As I Lay Dying, I believe is the name of the band. But he's a metal guy, so he was off doing that. Not being a wrestler, kind of doing his taking his time off like Chris Jericho does. However, I don't know. He showed up, and I've always said this: him and the Blade look cool. They've got they could have an interesting gimmick, but my first reaction because I was texting with Greg and a couple of other friends who were also watching the show live, and I'm texting with them, and I'm like, okay, I am an AEW fan. I watch almost every week. I've been a huge supporter from Go, but please tell me, why should I give even the slightest bit of a crap that the Butcher is back? He's a jobber. Has he ever won a match? Even he maybe might have won one match. Maybe. I don't know. Him and the Blade are jobbers, perennial jobbers. They never win. And the thing is, they're always treated by commentary and by certain things that they do extracurricular or whatever. They're treated like threats, like we should care about them. I'm like, should we though? They never win. Who cares if they come out and attack somebody or they steal a pickup truck or whatever? They get in the ring and they suck it up. So whatever. And he's not a terrible wrestler. I'm not putting it that way. Him and the Blade are good wrestlers. They just never effing win. They're not a threat. Maybe now that he's back, they'll start pushing that team. I don't know. They've got a couple teams like that. The Hybrid 2. It was just in this match. Have they ever effing won a match? Even one. Maybe one. I'm really hard pressed. I don't have the record right in front of me. And keep in mind, I don't watch Dark. I don't watch Elevation. So maybe they win occasionally on there against, some nobodies or, against another jobber tag team. But who cares? They don't win on Dynamite. They don't win on Rampage. They don't win on pay-per-views. They're jobbers. But the last thing about this before we get into the show itself, the last thing they did was Jack Evans pulled out scissors and was going to cut Orange Cassidy's hair. And he got chased off. I can't remember who the hell chased him off now off the top of my head. That's how little I cared about this. I think the other baby faces just got in the ring and chased him off. I don't know. I don't remember. But either way, So I guess they're setting up for a hair versus hair. I don't know. It's something. But yeah, I really could not give a crap less about that. So I don't know. That's that. Getting into the show itself, not just the pre-show, but the show. Like I said, I give that one like 2 stars to open up. Going off of CBS, they gave it. I like how they just. It's not. They don't have a wrestling section. They have a WWE section, which is a company, by the way, that also covers AEW. So that's like saying, well, we have a UFC section that also talks about Bellator, or we also, we have various Coke products, including Pepsi. Like, okay. But the show opened with Miro defending the TNT Championship against Eddie Kingston. I'm going to say this. Here's another thing. And again, I don't watch Dark. I don't watch Elevation, so maybe this happened. More of an evolution happened on there. Last I knew, and maybe I just missed it on an episode of Dynamite, because there have been a few episodes of Dynamite that I missed, so maybe it happened on there. When did Miro's evolution happen? Last I knew, he was the best man, and he was a video game streamer. Like, that was his gimmick. Now he's the Redeemer, and he is God's favorite champion, and all this. I missed all that until like this past week when he's cutting promos with Eddie Kingston saying that, his God doesn't like him and he's coming to redeem his sinful soul or whatever. And then Eddie cut the most needlessly offensive, not even slightly edgy promo of all time. He's like, I'm going to say a bunch of really offensive stuff about God, and that's edgy, right? Like, no, dude, everybody does that. The best thing in the promo was when he said, redeem these nuts. And he came out at All Out with a t-shirt that said redeem these nuts. They made a new t-shirt for him. So, it just shows AEW is still a t-shirt company at heart. So there you go. Joking. Gosh, don't anybody at me. But yeah, he's got a new shirt. He lost to Miro in a pretty good match, but Kingston lost via, like, they were tied up in the corner. The turnbuckle got exposed, so the referee was distracted, and they got up real close, so the ref couldn't see anything, and Miro back kicked Eddie right in the junk. And then he did his running kick, took Eddie's freaking head off, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. That was the end of that. So on Twitter, Miro said, your nuts have been redeemed. And then Lana quote tweeted him and said, when you get home, I'll redeem yours. I'm like, holy crap, dude. Like, you two need to keep it in your pants, at least online. But either way, these, the match was, it exceeded my expectations. I'm not a huge Eddie Kingston fan. I think he's good on the mic, like really good on the mic. I think in the ring he's okay, but he's growing on me. Greg and I both said the same thing last night. He's growing on us. He's redeeming himself to us. He's good. He's really good. He's never going to be the guy you put on the marquee. He's never going to be the world champion. He's never going to be your top guy. But he's good. He's good, and this is a good position for him. I feel like if they would have had him beat Miro, that would have been stupid, at least at this point. But it looks like they're setting up for probably a rematch at Full Gear because of the way this match ended. I mean, that's the way I'm thinking. So I don't know. This one I give about 2.5 stars. It was slightly above average, but I can't give it 3 stars. It was good. It was, like I said, better than I expected. I didn't really expect much out of Eddie Kingston though. So CBS gives it a B+. So they go like Greg with the show ratings. They go with grades. Up next, we get Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. None of my friends, I think I had 1 out of 3 friends watching that knew who Kojima was, even. And the other 2 were just like, I have no idea who this guy is, who the hell. And I'm like, if you watch New Japan, you'll know who he is. He's not a top guy, but he's really good. He's like upper mid card. He's a veteran. He's been around for a while. I said, he's really good. Just trust me, I promise he's really good. And these 2 had a really good match. I feel like the crowd wasn't super into it because, again, Kojima is not one of the marquee guys of New Japan. So it's not like if like Naito or Tanahashi or Okada, if it was one of them, and there's another name I'll get to in a minute, but if one of them was here, the crowd would be hot, it would be loud. If even one of the gaijin, like if Will Ospreay was there or Jay White, I feel like the crowd would have lost their mind, would have been more into this. The match was really good. The crowd got into it at times, but it just wasn't. The crowd wasn't super hot for it, and I think it's because they didn't know exactly who the hell Kojima was. But basically, in the end, Moxley locked in the Bulldog choke. Kojima broke it. Moxley hit the paradigm shift twice. I think he hit it regular, and then he hit basically the Death Rider, where he picks him up and almost like a brainbuster style paradigm shift, and he pinned him off of that. So this was a hard hitting, badass match. I really enjoyed it, and Moxley gets a win. But the big story was after the match. You hear some familiar music. You see up on the screen it says Minoru Suzuki, and I lost my mind. I'm like, oh crap, it's Suzuki. Like this is one of the guys. If I was going to make that list of, well, if this guy from New Japan was here, the crowd would blow. And they did. He came out there singing his theme song, even though it's in Japanese. They know the words. They're singing it. They're into it. The crowd is loud. They're on their feet. Like they're losing their mind over Minoru Suzuki. And I thought they were just going to have a stare down. But Suzuki takes off his jacket and his shirt, and they just start like forearming each other. And they start going at it. And Suzuki finally gets the upper hand. He hits the Gotch pile driver, lays Moxley, spark the F oot. It was great. I'm like, damn. So we get to see this. And not only do we get to see it, I get to see it live. It's going to happen in Cincinnati for Moxley's homecoming. I'm super excited. Very, very excited for that one. Getting to the match rating here, if I had to rate it, I'd give it 3 stars. It was about 3 stars. Just because the crowd reaction brings it down a little bit for me, because if the crowd's just kind of like meh, like it kind of takes me out of it a little bit. But all in all, it was a really good match, and I enjoyed it. The Suzuki thing, I got a little disappointed because I'm freaking out, and Greg texts me. He's like, I'm going to be really honest. I have no idea who the F this guy is. I'm like, holy cow. If you've watched any New Japan in the past, like, I don't know, 2 decades, you should know who this guy is. He's been around forever. He's a big name over there. He's a badass. And I was like, trust me, this match is going to be awesome. And I'm very honored that I get to see it live. But yeah, he really doesn't know anybody from New Japan. So he knows like a couple of guys, and for some reason Suzuki. I figured Suzuki would be one of those names, but it's not. But I told him, I said, well, trust me, this Wednesday, Minoru Suzuki will make sure that you remember his name. He's great. Moving on with the show, AEW Women's Championship is Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Looking forward to seeing her on Wednesday as well. She took on the alien, Chris Statlander, from the Andromeda Galaxy. This one was pretty damn good, man. It wasn't, it didn't burn the house down by any means, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. I've seen, I don't know, I'll say I think I've seen Britt Baker have better. I don't know that I've seen Chris Statlander have better. Statlander's getting better, I think, and both are doing really good. And Baker is one of them that she's proving that she doesn't need to be carried to have a good match. Statlander is good. She didn't need to win here at this show. She did not. So I'm glad that Baker got the win in the end. Basically, what happened to wrap the match up, Statlander tried going for the spider crab submission, but Baker landed a series of kicks to the face to break the hold. Baker hit they called it the Pittsburgh Sunrise. She hit the Panama Sunrise out of the corner. And when they said Pittsburgh Sunrise, I texted Greg and a couple other friends. I was like, what the hell is the Pittsburgh Sunrise? You see the sun coming up over the hill through the smog while you smell crap. I know I just lost some Pittsburgh listeners, but regardless. But yeah, either way, and she hit the stomp after, still didn't get the pin. Statlander had nothing left after the kick out, and Baker locked in the lockjaw because, yeah, Statlander had like a really weak kick out, and when she got the shoulder up, Baker just flipped her over, locked in the lockjaw, and she passed out. There's a win. And Sun was really good. CBS gives it B+. I'd give it 3 stars. I mean, especially grading on, I don't even know if I have to grade on a curve for this one. It was really good. It was a solid women's title match. I enjoyed it. I really did. Tag title match up next in a cage. It's the Young Bucks defending against the Lucha Brothers. Dude, this one, man. This match. Holy cow. Just wow. CBS gives it an A+. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I mean, I'll say this. It's not for everybody. Greg hated it. I had another friend who hated it. I can see why. Like, on the flip side, like, it really depends on your taste. I can see why people would not like this. Then again, those 2 people who said they hated it, Greg included, just they hate the Young Bucks, period. Almost everything the Young Bucks do, they hate it. So this was, it was a Young Bucks cage match, and they both love the Lucha Brothers, so they like them, but they hate the Bucks. This match I thought was great. I like the Young Bucks that they're just like so effing like out there, and they're like their whole gimmick has been, and I get it that it's just them cranked up to 11, but they're arrogant goofs that are so into themselves. They wear outlandish clothes. They do outlandish things. They're just weird and over the top. I love it. I don't know what else to say. I can't. I can't hide it. I can see why people wouldn't like it. I'll say that. But you're not really supposed to like it. They're heels. They're getting heat. They get reactions. They make you hate them. But I don't know. Greg said he's going to start skipping Young Bucks segments and matches because he just doesn't like them, and he doesn't. It's what people said about the Corbin effect, where it's like, oh, Baron Corbin's on my TV, time to change the channel. So he says that about the Young Bucks, but I don't know. I'm super into them. I love this run of theirs. But the Lucha Brothers came out. They had rappers doing their theme. I don't know who those freaking guys were, but they're rapping their theme. They're coming out with Aztec headdresses on. They got the pyro. I mean, they really did it up big. The match itself in a cage, I can't even describe it. It was hard hitting. Yeah, there was a lot of no selling and whatever, but oh my gosh, these guys are just like aerial artists, and it was great. I loved every second of it, almost every second of it, I'll say. I didn't like the Bucks introduced. I don't know if anybody remembers. Crap, what pay-per-view was it? Whatever one of their last shows that they did, they introduced. It was a Jordan that they put thumbtacks all over the bottom of it on the sole. So it was just like a Jordan. It was almost like a Jordan cleat, but instead of cleats, they were thumbtacks. And they introduced that, and I don't know. I thought that was kind of stupid. I didn't like it when they did it the first time. Didn't like it when they did it now. But Penta and Phoenix both got their masks ripped. They were bloody messes, especially Penta. He was just bleeding all over the place. Phoenix came off the cage with a crossbody. Everybody caught him, so he was nice and safe for the most part. It was the only thing, the scariest spot of the match was it was damn near off the top of the cage. Penta did a destroyer onto Matt Jackson, and Matt hit and bounced, and I was like, dude, he's dead. Like like not even in a joking, like, holy crap, he's dead. Like I was like, dude, he might be hurt. Like that looked sick, and that was the point of it, I guess. But I guess everybody's okay. I'm sure they're feeling it this morning. But Penta got his wife and daughter to come out and hug him. I made the joke to Greg. I was like, come on, honey, come hug your daddy while he's covered in blood and sweat. Like, ugh. But yeah, so new tag team champs. It's the Lucha Brothers. I freaked out. I love the match. Like I said, 4.5 stars. That might be I'm going to put that as the best match of the year for AEW. I don't know about both companies. It's up there, but yeah. Moving on though, the next one was the Women's Casino Battle Royal. I don't know. I forgot to mention the finishing move of the last match was the assisted package pile driver to Nick Jackson. He took the pin. So anyway, the Casino Battle Royal. This match, man. I think I said something on Twitter to the effect of, you could take 5 women from this match and had a good match with them. Everybody else was like filler. Like the women, the freaking women that were in this match, most of them god awful. Like running through, I'll just run through the suits here. The first one was Hikaru Shida. She's amazing. Sky Blue. I don't know who the hell she is. I guess she's a local wrestler that they just signed from Chicago. She's very beautiful, so there's that. But yeah, I didn't really get to see much out of her, so I don't know. Emi Sakura, I can't effing stand her. She's annoying, and I've yet to see anything out of her that would impress me. The Bunny, she's okay. Abaddon, she's just a gimmick. That's it. I haven't seen anything great out of her. Anna Jay, she's okay. She's very green. She needs work. Kira Hogan is fine. Kylan King, haven't seen anything out of her that, like, I don't know anything about her. I haven't really seen anything out of her. So Diamante's fine. Nyla Rose, I've always said she sucks. I can't stand Nyla Rose. She has done nothing that impressed me. I have not, like, any match she's been in, I feel like she's adequate enough to make it not completely suck. But that's it. She's not a good wrestler. I'm sorry. I know some people like her. I don't. The Heart, that was the Diamonds, by the way. The Hearts were Thunder Rosa, who's amazing. Penelope Ford, not great. Riho, she's good. Jamie Hayter, she's fine. And Big Swole, she absolutely effing sucks. Big Swole should not have a job in this company. She sucks. I've touted this from the very beginning. That feud she had with Britt Baker was embarrassing on multiple levels. She is horrible. And then finally, the Spades. Tay Conti's pretty good. Like, she's really good. She was my pick. She did not win, unfortunately. She got eliminated in a very stupid spot that I'll get to in a minute. Red Velvet, she's super, super green. You can tell she's going to be good someday. She's not now. She's fine, but that's it. She's very green. Layla Hirsch, she's good. Jade Cargill sucks. She's very green. She needs a lot of work. And Rebel, she's never been good. Like, she's not like the worst, but she's never been good. She's not green because she's been around forever. She's not good. And finally, the big story of this match, I got a lot of play on Twitter about this when I tweeted about it. The Joker card was Ruby Soho. Kind of figured that. I mean, that just seemed like obvious because I was like, who the hell else is it going to be? I feel like they're padding this match out enough with women that nobody gives a crap about, or that, it's just, they're awful. So Ruby Soho, obviously for people that don't know, is Ruby Riott, or was Ruby Riott. And the place exploded. According to Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, there were 3 chants before they introduced a Joker card. The loudest one were chants for Ruby Soho, and the other 2 chants were dueling chants. There was "We want Tessa" and "No, we don't." So some people were thinking it might be Tessa Blanchard. I mean, Tessa Blanchard is really, really good, and she looks really good. But enough with the perf stuff. But yeah, she's really good, but she's a lightning rod for controversy. So I really don't know about her. I'm assuming because she's really young, she's gonna have to wrestle again, right? But who's gonna sign her? Where the hell is she gonna go? WWE, maybe. AEW, probably. I don't know. I think she'd do well in WWE, but I don't know. It's if she can keep her mouth shut and keep on the straight and narrow and kind of prove yourself there. So anyway, but this match was won by Ruby Soho. She is now the number 1 contender for Britt Baker's title. The last 2 women were Ruby and Thunder Rosa. I want to see one-on-ones between these two in the future, and I know they're coming, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Kind of set it up, or maybe they set it up. I really don't know. I'll say this: the first thing about Tay Conti's elimination that I wanted to get into. My gosh, dude, she eliminated somebody. I don't remember who, but she eliminated somebody, and it was one of them spots where she had to be on the apron to eliminate her, and then she's like posing, like she has to get into position in the center of the apron, and then pose and stand there for a while and wait for Nyla to hit her and eliminate. I was like, dude, you can see this elimination coming from like 5 miles away. This is really stupid. So that kind of wrapped up, that was the epitome of this entire battle royal in a nutshell. I was not a fan of it. I give this thing 1 effing star. Not good, bad. But I don't know. There, like I said, there's like five or 6 women in this match. So you could have made a good, solid multi-women match out of. This Casino Battle Royale was not it, and it kind of shows you the lack of depth in the AEW roster, women's roster. They can say whatever they want. Oh, look at all these women we have. Yeah, but the majority of them suck. Don't fool yourself. So it needs some work, man. That's all I'm saying. Nothing to make me jump and shout about. And the other thing is, I don't like when WWE, former WWE talents come in and just like right off the bat, they're in the title picture. And I don't know. And I just said the thing about the lack of depth on the women's roster there. So it's like, what are you going to do? Throw Thunder Rosa in there again? I guess you could. I don't know. Like I said, I would have went with Tay Conti. I think that would have been great, but maybe they're building her up for a big win down the line. They want her to be a top female. I really don't know. Either way, that was that. But moving on to the next one. This one I had low expectations for, and it well over delivered. So it's MJF versus Chris Jericho. If Chris Jericho loses, he's out of AEW forever, or he's never wrestling again. What the hell ever. So this one went for just over 21 minutes. It was a lot longer than I thought it would be. I was shocked by that. And there was a lot of big moves. MJF spoofed the Y2J entrance. Jericho came out to a live like guitar performance of Judas, and it was cool. It like gets you hyped to start with. And Jericho worked the lower back throughout this whole match. And I should have put it together, but I didn't even think about it. It's like, oh, he's softening him up for the Walls of Jericho. And MJF ended up, I thought he was going to win at one point because he used the baseball bat behind the referee's back, and then he hit the Judas effect on Jericho, and he didn't get the win off of it. He also hit the code breaker with Jericho coming off the top rope, and he came down. He caught him out of midair with the code breaker. I was shocked by that. I was shocked that MJF didn't get the win a couple of times because I'm like, damn, it's perfect. Wardlow comes down like he's going to get involved at one point, but Jake Hager cuts him off on the ramp. I will say it was a production fail because the commentary is talking about it, and I'm like, what? What's going on? Finally, the camera cuts and shows what's going on, and by this time, Hager was already out there, so it was kind of like, oh, okay. And then Hager, brawls with Wardlow to the back, so I'm glad nobody got involved. I think that was the setup for when MJF used the ball bat, Floyd. But either way, in the end, Jericho ended up locking in the Walls of Jericho, and it looked like MJF was going to tap. He almost got to the ropes, and then Jericho pulled him back, cranked it in harder, and finally he taps out. Jericho wins. The Inner Circle comes out. They all celebrate together. It's a big happy ending. Yay! Jericho keeps his job. So cool. It was a really good match. And I will say uh, some what CBS said here said not the best match on the show, but a good enough showing for both men and an effective use of the classic pro wrestling dusty finish. I forgot about that. So the distraction, like I said, allowed MJF to use Jericho's baseball bat, hit Jericho in the head, and then landed Jericho's own Judas effect. So he did pin him. He got the 1-2-3, but Jericho's foot was on the rope. I forgot about that. His foot was on the rope, but Girl Hebner there, Aubrey Edwards, she missed it. She didn't see it. She calls for the bell. MJF's music is playing. He's celebrating. Commentary's losing their minds, cussing and screaming and yelling. And finally, another referee comes out. He's like, whoa, 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 his foot was on the ropes. And they reverse the decision. So they restart the match. And after they restart the match, that's when they wrestle around for a bit longer. MJF actually got the armbar in at one point. He got in his Fujiwara armbar, but didn't get it. This one I'm going to give 3.5 stars. Really effing good. We're in the home stretch here, people. CM Punk versus Darby Allen up next. This one, man, I got freaking chills. Just chills watching this one. Just from the entrances alone. And I will say it was a little slow going to start off with, but it picked up by the end. You could tell, like, more than halfway through, Punk had really hit his stride again. He was back in it. He was doing his old stuff. He was in it, man. By the way, he's wearing tights now. So they're all black and they have like bars down the side, like Hitman style, but they got the Chicago stars on it. It was different. It was a very different look for Punk, but yeah, you could tell he was a little winded at times, but he kept up. Darby was clearly carrying the load of this for a while, and he was the perfect person to do so. He's flipping, flopping, and flying all over. He's bumping for Punk. He's getting in all his stuff. Punk's getting in all of his stuff. This was exactly what it needed to be. Sting was not there at ringside. Nobody was interfering. It was just a great, straight up match. Punk hit the go to sleep at one point. Darby flopped out of the ring, and he had to get it back in. But Darby Allen went for the coffin drop, but Punk sat up to avoid the move. Allen reversed another go to sleep into the Last Supper for a near fall before Punk hit a huge leg lariat. Punk finally hit a second go to sleep. He reversed the what the hell do they call it, the Poison Rana. That was it. He reversed the Poison Rana to a GTS for the win. This was great, man. After the match, Sting comes down, shakes Punk's hand. They start to help Darby to his feet, and he shoves him off. He's like, "No, I'm standing up on my own." And then he shakes Punk's hand. All three guys pose together, and then they give Punk his moment. They all go to the back and let Punk do his thing. It was great. The crowd was red hot. I'm gonna give this 3 stars. It was really damn good and an amazing comeback for Punk. Up next, Paul White versus QT Marshall. I'm not gonna spend much time on this. Paul White came out, and basically took on all 3 guys. There was Aaron, what the hell is his name? Aaron Solo, I guess. I thought it was Swallow or Swallow. I don't even know. But Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado. Nick Camarado took the knockout punch to the face and kept standing. So Paul White speared the crap out of him outside of the ring. And Paul White ended up beating Marshall with a chokeslam. And this was only like 3 minutes long. I give it a star. Wasn't great. Who could have possibly given a damn about this match? And this came right after we had Jericho and MJF, followed by Punk and Allen. This was the 3-minute piss break before the main event. That's all I can say about it. Main event, Kenny Omega with Don Callis versus Christian Cage for the AEW Championship in 21 minutes, 20 seconds. I had no idea. Like, this is not advertised as a no disqualification match, but they treated it as such. There were tables. Frickin' Callis got involved. The Good Brothers got involved. And it sounds like a bunch of bullcrap. It kind of was, but it didn't seem overbooked. The worst part is, like, I don't know, and I guess this is his thing, but Kenny Omega just can't help, like, being a freaking dork. Like, and I love Kenny Omega, but God dang, he's a dork. And he's just like, he does something cool, and then he instantly ruins it by being a dork. Like, he put a table over, like, outside of the ring. He laid Christian down, puts a table on him, and he does a running double stomp onto it off of the ramp, or the ring, and he breaks the table over Christian. And I was like, oh, cool. And then he looks at the camera and goes, did I do that? And I'm like, what the crap, dude? Like, just let it sit. Let it marinate. Have a good match and shut the hell up. Like, quit being a freaking dork. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I have other, like, I know Greg feels that way. But these two, man, him and Christian just tore the house down. You could tell Christian got injured at one point because he laid, or I think, I can't remember like how it happened, but he speared Omega through a table, and like the table was setting upright outside the ring, and he jumps for a spear off of the ring apron, and he puts Kenny, I can't remember the position, but he speared Kenny through the table, and the way it broke was the leg, and the framework of the legs stayed up on one side, and Christian went ribs first into them. So he was instantly holding his ribs, and he had a mark on his ribs. Next thing you know, he's got blood in his mouth. And I'm like, oh, gosh. I hope he like didn't seriously hurt himself. It didn't affect anything he did for the rest of the match. He was doing frog splashes, and the final move of the match was he lost to Omega he was going for the unprettier, or the kill switch, whatever, off the top, and Omega reverses it into a one-winged angel off the top rope. Blew my effing mind, and he wins. I was like, hot damn, dude, that was sick. It was a great freaking match. I give it 4 stars. It was just fan freaking tastic. It was much better than I even. That was another one I went in. I knew they were going to have a good match. I didn't know how good it was going to be. I kind of figured Christian was going to lose, but damn, it was great. It was a great freaking match. I love Christian. I love me some Kenny Omega. So all in all, this was a damn good match for the world title. Great way to close the show. But yeah, so that was that. And then after the match, Omega and Callis call out the Good Brothers to be the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks to come beat up Christian Cage there, and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus come out to help him out. They also get beat up. My thing is, I don't think Kazarian was there, and my whole thing, and Greg pointed this out, and now I'm starting to notice it. Kazarian's whole gimmick is supposed to be that he's the elite hunter, and he's going after the elite, and he's going to shut down the elite, but he's always like super late to the party. Like, shouldn't he, if he was really hunting them, shouldn't he just be like anticipating? It's like, well, they do this every damn week. I'm going to be right there to jump them and make sure they can't, do something stupid. But no, he's always late to the party. And I don't even think he was there at the show. So I don't know, whatever. But anyway, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy get beat down by the elite along with Christian. And Kenny Omega gets on the mic, and I was like, okay, well, they're setting it up plain as day. They're going to have a debut now. And yeah, because he grabs a mic and Omega says, well, I beat everybody. Nobody's good enough to beat me. Anybody who's even, could even stand a chance against me either doesn't work here, is retired, or is dead. So he's like, there's nobody who can beat me. And then all of a sudden the lights go out, and I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, well, it's probably Bryan Danielson. But I don't know. I don't know if they dropped the lights for him. Then all of a sudden the lights come back on. The Titantron lights up. It's Adam Cole, baby. And I'm like, what? I did not see that one coming. I freaked the hell out. I honestly was like, well, he's going to pop up on SmackDown, like, or Raw even. I was like, I didn't think he'd go back to NXT, because I was like, he did his swan song there with Kyle O'Reilly. He's good. There's nothing else for him to really do there, other than to repeat the same old crap. The Undisputed Era broke up, so I don't know. I'm like, he doesn't really need to go back to NXT, but he'll probably be on SmackDown. Wrong. He's here. He was here, and he was just a takeover. So there's no 90-day no compete clause, clearly, which I was shocked about. I don't know how that one. I guess when your contract expires, because from my understanding, I don't think he was. I think his contract expired before, but he wanted to do the takeover match, so they signed him to like an extension or something like that. I think, if I understand that correctly. But either way, his contract expired. He wasn't released. He wasn't fired. So maybe when the contract expires, maybe that's why you're not obligated to wait your 90 days. So I don't know. Either way, that happened. Adam Cole comes out, and I'm like, holy cow! The crowd's going nuts. He's got it's almost like a remix of his Undisputed Era theme, which I'm not hating on. But it's called All About the Boom. It's already on YouTube if you guys want to go check it out. But he comes out, does Adam Cole, baby. Yeah, he's got a new T-shirt that says All Elite, baby, which I kind of want to get. And he gets in the face of Kenny Omega, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. And then he smiles and starts laughing. Kenny smiles, starts laughing, and they hug. And he gets kissed on the cheek by the Young Bucks. He's part of the Elite. He's joining the Elite, and I'm like, wow. And Kenny's like, you honestly thought he was coming after me? We're best friends. He's our friend. He's coming out here. He's part of the Elite. Come on now. And I'm like, wow. So apparently they're just ignoring the fact that the last time they were all together, all three of them literally beat the piss out of Adam Cole and left him laying in the Ring of Honor to give him his send off. So I guess they don't care about that anymore. Whatever. I don't know. But either way, kind of makes sense. Greg hated this because he said, well, it's stupid because, they're just doing NWO Light and everybody and their mother's doing it. I'm like, it's different from the NWO because NWO was just random after a while. Like after the first three, then it's like, well, now here's Ted DiBiase. Now here's the Giant. Now here's Six. And I'm like, and then Vincent, and they're adding random people. Whereas the Elite, they all have a history in the Bullet Club. They all are best friends in real life. So it makes sense. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I think this makes much more sense than anything the NWO did after the original three. Not crapping on the NWO, not saying it's better than the NWO. I'm just saying I think it makes more sense why they're a team and they have history together. So anyway, that's the Elite, and then Omega's like, well, so I'm going to send everybody. This truly is a happy ending. I'm going to send everybody home tonight by saying goodbye and good night, and he starts kissing his little finger, whatever, because he's going to do his McFinger bang. And then all of a sudden we hear basically Daniel Bryan's WWE theme, and Bryan Danielson comes out. The crowd explodes to where you can't hear anything. The roof has been raised on the Now Arena, and Bryan Danielson comes out with a top knot. I kind of laughed at that one. He's like the only person who's debuted recently who hasn't been hawking merchandise, because he comes out in a plain white T-shirt and jeans. And I'm like, whoa, all right. He doesn't have a shirt yet, but cool, whatever. I don't care. But he comes out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's here. He's really here. I didn't think he was. I was like, well, maybe they're going to hold him off until Full Gear, or maybe I'll get lucky. He'll debut on Wednesday in Cincinnati, but whatever. I don't know. But he comes out, and the crowd's going nuts. And he instantly starts fighting. Like, the baby faces are all up now. They've had time to recover. And they all start beating on the heels. He hits the running knee on Nick. And it's always poor Nick Jackson. It's always poor Nick Jackson. He takes the bump of all bumps for this knee. And the crowd's chanting, yes. Bryan's leading him. It's pandemonium. It's awesome. This is probably one of the greatest pay-per-views probably the best pay-per-view in AEW history, I'll say. I forgot to rate the last match. I did give it 4 stars. Never mind. Pause for editing. But this one was freaking awesome, dude. I can't put it over enough. I absolutely freaking love this show. Greg hated the ending because of the Elite situation, and he said they should have spaced out the debuts. He thought 2 debuts in one night were, 3, but two big debuts back to back like this in one segment were stupid. I loved it because it's like, well, you get them both to work. You just start stuff. You don't have to worry about who's debuting and when. And also, it builds up for big stuff here really in the near future. This is their biggest show, second biggest show of the year, maybe their biggest. I don't know. Is it this or Double or Nothing? Or are they both equally big? I think they're both equally big. I don't know, but they usually go all out for all out. So they did this time. And I like the swerve. I told him, I was like, dude, they wanted to swerve. They did a great swerve, in my opinion. It's like, it's Adam Cole, who I didn't see coming. I know there were rumors and everything else, and everybody's, oh, he's going to all elite. He's going to all elite, and I didn't believe it. And sure enough, he's an all elite, man. So that was really cool. I dig it. I dug it. But yeah, so that was All Out. I loved it. All in all, because I usually give it between 0 to 10 stars, I would give this 8.5 stars out of 10, or 8.5, not stars, but 8.5 out of 10 on my grading scale. This was fantastic. I'd give it a B plus, A minus. It wasn't perfect. There were a couple things on the show like, meh, whatever. But to have a perfect show is almost impossible. But this was, I think, the best show in AEW history. Loved it. I'm so excited for Wednesday, so excited for the future of AEW, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed this. I know it went a little longer than I wanted it to, but it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed the bonus content. We will see you on Wednesday. Greg and I are bringing you a review of WWF Mind Games. That's In Your House 10 Mind Games from 1996. And then next week, we're going to bring you Fall Brawl 1999 from WCW. That one is, it's something, man. That show was, yeah. But before Wednesday comes out, check out last week's episode. We covered Fall Brawl 1996. Some people were saying that wasn't a good show. It was indeed a good show. It was it wasn't like, holy crap, this thing was so damn good. But it was really good. I really liked Fall Brawl 1996. I had never seen the whole thing before, so this was a first-time viewing for me. It was great. Greg and I did a great job covering the whole thing, if I do say so myself. And, yeah, also on YouTube, I brought you a video kind of touring my Mattel figures from WWE. The video's a tad sloppy. It's my first time ever doing this. I used iMovie to put it all together on my iPhone. So I hope you all enjoyed it, though. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. See what's in my collection. If you have any questions, definitely send. And Greg's going to do a tour at some point. He's setting up his Detolfs and all that stuff. He's got most of them set up, but he eventually wants to do a tour of his collection as well. He's only got Mattel figures, whereas I've got Jakks figures. That'll have to be another video because I have a lot. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. Go check out that stuff. Like I said, follow us on social media at @main_event_ on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/main event Marks pod. We'll see you all on Wednesday. And enjoy your Labor Day. Have fun, be safe, and enjoy the time with your loved ones. Later on.